It's my honor to introduce Yisi. He is an incredible activist and works at a company called Dimensions that is building free and open privacy enhancing tools. So give it up for Yisi.
Alrighty. Hi everyone, my name is Yisi, and obviously I'm Chinese. I was born in China and went to the U.S. for studying for like a couple of years, but now I decided to come back to China. Now I'm living in Shanghai, and we are building some to me, at least to me, it's incredible like privacy preserving solutions and tools. They're all open sourced. And yeah, before starting my presentation today, I want to thank the HCPP and the Institute of Cryptonarchy. And it's my honor to be here to at least to share you guys with some of our thoughts on privacy and stuff. And so today my presentation is about enhanced privacy with decentralized identities. And yeah, there we go. So firstly, what is privacy? So everybody is talking about privacy in the blockchain world, in the the Web 2.0 world. Everybody is talking about privacy. But what is privacy? So by definition, it is a fundamental right that is essential to autonomy and the protection of human dignity. Well, that's too vague. That's too dry. I don't want to explain that. I don't even understand this sentence at all. But specifically, that no one would ever ask that why do you have a understanding the Linux kernel book on your shelf at home, right? Because they should never know that fact. And why would they know that? But now your friends won't know that, but maybe Google or Facebook will know that in this entire world. It is crazy right now. And what happened in the past few years. So this is related to many issues and scandals in the past few years. For example, sorry, I have to pull up this guy every time I do the presentation, Mark Zuckerberg. Well, under the Congress testimony. Well, what happened to Facebook? It leaked 87 million users' data in 2016. Which influenced the not just the U.S. election, but also the Brexit vote and Mexican general elections. And then they said Facebook officer said it was an issue, a mistake, a breach of trust, but they never mentioned it was a real data breach. And another scandal or problem was the Equifax. So in 2017 or 15, no, I can't remember. No, it should be 17 or 18. They leaked a lot of sensitive information in the U.S., including me, including my SSNs and stuff. So it influenced over 145 million users in the U.S. in the North American. And they not just leak your online data, they leak your SSNs, they leak your home addresses, and even credit card information. This is a really big issue to all of us in the U.S. And it was turned out to be a failure of secure implementation of their system. So why would they have an insecure system in their in such a company that's storing the sensitive data? Well, who knows that? And the next one is this year. So may know or may not know this, but a Twitter user called Victor Gives posted this tweet on March 2nd. He was asking, "Hey guys, I just found a open access MongoDB database, MongoDB on the internet, and I found this interesting conversation." It was so he was posting this Google Translate, and because he didn't know the Chinese, obviously, but he found that over 1 billion WeChat, and I guess people here know WeChat. somehow. Yeah, they leak like over 1 billion WeChat conversations on the internet, and they are like open access to everybody. And this is the details of that conversation in the MongoDB. It was like pretty. It was flirting. It was yeah. Well, it was flirting. It's nothing like sensitive. It's nothing about the government. It's nothing about the like security and stuff. It was just daily flirting between like a girl and a boy. But they have like all of these data open access online. And according to WeChat or Tencent, because like WeChat is belong to Tencent, the Tencent officer told us that they will never, ever, ever store data on their server. But here we go. They have this all of these like conversations on the internet, open accessed, and this is the other like metadata of that like database, and you can see that's everywhere. And it influenced over 1 billion users in China, and over 300 million messages were leaked, were influenced by that. And governments, well, I'm not just blaming like WeChat or something or Chinese government, because like I'm from China, I don't really want to blame my government for that, but not just like Chinese government, but all of those like the other like governments in the world are doing the same thing, such as like the PRISM project from the U.S., which was leaked by Edward Snowden, like in 2015 or something. So like governments are reportedly doing this all the time. They want to control people. They want to control what we are doing online, what we're like talking about online. They want to like influence us to move towards their like desired goals. But we don't want that happen. Why is this important, right? Well, the above like three things or three events were just there, and it wasn't like that affecting your daily life, and especially if you're in China, they were okay, because like yeah, leaking SSNs are okay, and then because it's in the US. But I'm gonna show you something that's really important. That's you can find them everywhere in your daily life. So was like another tweet. Like it was like I really like this one. It was from this guy in June. He said, "This is a joke. I really like this joke." And they said, "My wife asked me why I was speaking so softly at home. I told her that, hey, I was afraid Mark Zuckerberg was listening." Oh yeah, I laughed because yeah, it was a pretty good joke, and my wife laughed, and Siri laughed, and yeah, Alexa laughed, and every single like virtual assistant laughed at that time. Well, it's in our life. And second, this is in case you guys don't really know this guy. Sorry, I have to pull this guy out all the time. I do presentations just like Mark Zuckerberg. So this is the CEO of Baidu, which is like Chinese Google or Chinese search engine. And he said in 2018, this is a really famous quote from him. He said, Chinese consumers favor efficiency at the expense of privacy. Robin Lee, well, and in some of the artificial intelligence conference. So he said this because Baidu is abusing all of our like privacies and personal data. Like if you search on Baidu, I'm not sure because I saw some advertisement when you are like searching on Google, but on Baidu it's really really like a bad situation here. So if you search some like if you, for example, if you're searching that, hey, I'm not feeling well today, you are seeking for help, it'll like return you like tons of like advertisement, paid advertisement, which come from like different sources where like personal, even personal clinics. That was like killing people, and this has been like done by Baidu a few times. Like at least like 2 people were killed by the advertisement on Baidu while they were searching for some like diseases or things. And this is really critical. And the next one is even like worse. Well, it's not even worse, but even more spreading. So maybe you guys do not like really recognize like Chinese for sure, but this is like Didi. It's Chinese version of Uber, and this is like a like screenshot from like two different devices. So the left one was from iOS and the other was from Android, from two different accounts and two different devices, and they were like querying like a route or an estimation of price from the single, like the same like source and destination. And they returned like different prices for that. And their CTO told us that it wasn't like deliberately doing this. It's based on algorithms, but what algorithms? They're like querying the same, pretty much the same, like exactly the same, 100% same route, but got like different like prices. Well, this is deliberate like price discrimination in DDE. And the other one is Ctrip. It's an online it's like a Chinese version of Expedia, if you, in case you guys don't really recognize that. They will return like different prices from the same room in the same hotel. This is really like something because like they were reportedly to use like big data to help us. To at least they say that. They said that our algorithms are based on big data to help you get more efficiencies. But right now we are being attacked or we are like against by our own data, by our own big data generated for them. Okay, so why is this important? So we are, in conclusion, we are under surveillance without being notified, obviously. We are actually, I think my talk or everybody's talk here is being monitored by some governments or some people. Some people think it's worth to listen to. And our data is collected and shared across platforms. It's not just like on the same, like on one platform. They will share this data for more goods or more benefits by sharing the data across platforms. And the data which was generated by us is used or is abused by them to fight against us. It's not like helping us to achieve a better life. It's fighting against us. This is really like disgusting to think about it because they have been claiming that big data is for us, it's for the people, but obviously it's not. And finally, our privacy is being violated without letting us know. We don't even know that because like our privacy is being violated anytime, every single second. And what has been done? Well, this is I don't really want to talk like so much on the, like privacy and identity, but this is really worth mentioning that two regulations have been done in the past few years. So sorry for the formatting. I just realized that just minutes ago. So the first one is GDPR. Like it's really good. I think that's the best regulation in the world right now for protecting people's data because of its right to oblivion. So people can just ask Google or Facebook to delete their like data from their servers and from their data points, from their algorithms, from their models. This is really good. I don't think like big data is good, but we always have the right for it to forget about us. And the other one is the one in California, in which that you can ask everybody or ask the companies in California that where was my data and how did you use my data. These two regulations are really good right now in the world, and we are expecting more to help protect our data, protect our privacy. But these are generated or like published by the government. We cannot control it. We really have to find a way to control it ourselves because that's the most direct way to do this. So my second topic here is Okay, sorry. Here's a list of like a table of like the fines generated by GDPR. And in case you guys don't really know that, like Google has been fined for 50 million euros, and British Airways was fined 183 million pounds, and so does Marriott's. And more are coming to be fined to really protect our like data. But this is really slow. I don't think that works out eventually. And my second topic here is after like say talking about privacy for a little bit. Let me check the time. Okay. We really have to talk about like what is identity? Because without identity, we don't really have the privacy. But what is like identity? Here again, so this is definition. I don't really want to read it at all. This is so like dry again. I don't even know what it means. But let's take some example here. So if we are like penguins, we pretty much look the same here. How do we like recognize who is who? Like saying like, because like I just had a really good conversation with Mark this in the noon. We were saying, hey, I just got some like we really have some bad time recognizing like people's faces. But how do we like recognize people? Well, I will mention like the social identity and digital identity. So what is social identity? It's your social appearance. It's your occupation, it's your like faces, for example, and your age, everything. But these things are recognized and verified by the government. It's something. It's government stuff. But the second I want to mention is this. So this is just some random comic to like converting like a man to a digital format. Sorry, it wasn't that obvious. But what is your social, or what is your digital identity? For now, we can think about, all we can think about is your Google account, your Facebook account. It's what do you look like on the internet? And they are verified or like authorized by the third parties, by those like large companies. And but what's wrong with current digital identities? Well, there's a lot to talk about. And the identity here, or in general, is a key enabler to your privacy. Because without identity, what is privacy, right? And the user identity's trust is largely dependent on those like third parties, on those like giant companies, because your trust on Google is dependent on Google. If they do not have trust anymore, your account doesn't have that either. And users need to register like multiple accounts across platforms on the internet. You will have to register your Google account, your Facebook account. Like you have to register millions of different accounts on millions of different platforms. And these platforms control your data themselves. And they are apparently abusing them right now, but they are supposed to protect that for you, right? So I will refer these like kind of like the current digital entities as a one-to-one mapping. Well, I guess you guys know what mapping is. So it's a one account to one platform. And one needs to remember all his passwords to all of those like different platforms, obviously. And platforms control and store all the personal like users' personal information, such as your contacts, your personal data generated on their websites, and your passwords. But what happened in the past few years? Sorry, we have to like talk about these giant companies again, but they have been really abusing our passwords. This is so stupid to store the passwords in plain text. And it's not just Facebook, it's also like Twitter, Google, even Google, G Suite was found like storing like passwords in plain text in their product. And this is on GitHub, Twitter, and Robinhood. You guys, well, I think you guys know all of them, but they're like really having a really bad like security level on this. Why would they do this? Because they don't really care. They don't really care your privacy, your data. They just care how you guys can make money for them. And the second, well, for like solving this problem, some tools emerged, such as one password and last pass. These are just password management tools. It'll like you as the user will only need to like remember one master password instead of like remembering all of those like different passwords at all, and then it'll like store that for you. But still, like it doesn't solve the problem. You still need to register like multiple accounts for multiple platforms, and your data is still there, and your information is still there. It's just a management tool. So I will refer to, okay, so this is like how it looks like in the password management tool. This is one password. You just, all of those information are stored there. So what is the difference between like storing in one password instead of storing in all of those different platforms, right? So the second like type of like digital identities is I want to talk about is one-to-many mapping, which was done by OpenID, which was founded in 2005, I guess. And you can find your like Facebook login or Twitter login or Google login are all following the OpenID protocol. And this is a really good strategy because now you just need one single like account on the internet, and you can authorize the other platforms, the other services by that account. But does it really like solve the problem? Yes, kind of, because like you will just need one single identity on the internet, and then it'll like authorize the others, all the others for you. But the thing is, the trust of your like identity is still dependent on their platforms, on your identity providers, such as like Google and Facebook, and still like third parties. If you don't trust them, you will lose your trust or reputation on the internet. And still, like it doesn't solve the problem that data are still like stored on individual platforms instead of like somewhere like safe. So this is Google login here, or Google and Facebook login for some platforms. And the thing is, single sign-on is what they call they're doing, and they're pretty much the same to like one password. You just need to remember one password to authorize all of them. Okay, I've already talked about that. But what is lost here? Well, a lot of things are still missing, right? Because like identities are still centralized and controlled by like third parties, like say your identity providers. You still cannot control your own identities, but I don't think that makes sense, right? Because like you are you and you cannot control yourself. This doesn't work out at all. And this is why I'm like introducing you like the new one, or the thing I believe is working well and or will be working is decentralized identities. I will refer that to a many-to-many mapping. So for example, you can have like one identity to authorize like multiple platforms, but that's already being done by like OpenID, and that's just 10% the property or the value of decentralized identities. And the rest, like 90%, was provided by the second feature, that you can like actually create millions of like tons of different identities or personas on the same single platforms. You don't have to like now if you register for like Google or Twitter, it'll require you a lot of things such as your cell phone number, and which is controlled by the government in many countries. such as like Japan, each cell phone number is like authorized by the government. And China is reportedly doing this pretty much the same thing. And it's better in Europe and America, but it's still a really centralized or government control thing. And you can now like authorize yourself. You can pretend to be like anyone on any platform freely without like any restrictions or like permissions from different like platforms. This is, I believe, this is the power of decentralized identity. And one can create identities at any time without any restrictions. And your like personal information is controlled by yourself. You can control, you can specify which part of the information or which part of my contact is shared on the internet to which like platform. But the thing is, the data is still like stored on the like their platforms. You still like, even though you have like your decentralized identities, you still need to like generate data on their platforms. You're just still like generating you're still like creating posts on Facebook and still like there, right there. It doesn't like work out either. And uh, I will like conclude the decentralized identity as a cryptographic key pair. All you need to do is to create a Bitcoin-like or any blockchain-like key pair. It can be like on the elliptic curve, or it doesn't matter. You can also create an RSA key pair or DSA key pair to do that. It doesn't matter as long as it's a cryptography key pair. And creation only requires math. It doesn't require any like server connections where like inquiries. All you need to do is to offlinely like create a key pair on your computer or anywhere. You can also create a private key yourself and calculate the public key with it on any elliptic curve, since it's just simple math, multiplications here. And you don't have to get verified by any like third parties. And you can control which information to be shared to which platform. And this is what W3Cs are proposing right now. It's called decentralized identifiers. It's just a document listing your own identity on the top, and then you can specify which services to be authorized by you on the internet. And these are like stored on like okay. I'm not gonna just say where's the trust. So yeah, you can publish a document anywhere, but how do you authorize or how do you prove that this document is trusted, cannot be altered by the other people? There we go. We have the blockchain. We have the distributed ledger. You can like post any like updates or creation. Well, they're pretty much the same thing. Creations and updates, deletions on the blockchain. So your trust now is dependent on the blockchain. Me myself is a believer of Bitcoin, although I don't really buy Bitcoins, but I still believe that Bitcoin has the most like a trust over all of those like different blockchains, and the trust is built upon these globally distributed ledgers. All you need to do is just post your like authorizations or updates on those ledgers. And I will say this is a trust of mathematics, because yeah, it's mathematics. If you trust mathematics and you believe, oh, okay, it provides like safety to that, it is there. The trust is right there. But where is the privacy then? So I've been talking about trust, but still like no privacy, right? The IDs apparently limited the need of like a third parties, and the data is still like stored on those like different platforms. That's still a problem. It's a huge problem. even though you have like great DID systems, you still need to generate data on like those platforms. And we have like seen some like solutions such as Salad, which was the product or a project led by Tim Berners-Lee, who was like the inventor of the World Wide Web. And its main goal is to say, hey, applications, instead of storing like those like users' data on your servers, it has to be like stored on their personal pods, personal like data storages. And you guys, if you guys need the data, you should like make a request to the users. But this is gonna take a long time to go. I'm just mentioning they're here, but it has a really long way to go. Now we have to, can we really opt out? This is my third topic, which is based on what we have been done in the past to solve both like privacy and trust problem. And we can, but I believe like a lot of people here can do that, opt out, to really opt out the system, but we probably cannot let everybody really opt out of the system. They will still like use like Facebook or like Twitter or any other like messenger apps, right? To enable users to control. And so our attempt was not to let people leave their platforms, not leave their safe zones, comfort zones. We just let them stay there. And we provide some tools to build upon those like platforms, such as our two products. I'm just mentioning they're here. They're fully open source and free. That's why I'm mentioning here. If it's a commercial one, I'm not even will be here. So one is called Massbook. It's a browser extension to be used on social networks, and the other is in a mobile app called TestQ, which I will be like presenting later in the slides. So firstly, we will present Massbook. So what is Massbook? It's as simple as a browser extension. It enables users on Facebook or other like social networks to create encrypted posts on those like social networks. You don't have to leave the platform. All you need to do is to like install our extension and like create your posts or behave regularly as you have done in the past. And let's see how it works. Okay, sorry, no, that's next slide. So why Massbook? It's okay. We have nothing to hide, but we have the rights to hide from those like giant companies, to hide from the evils, and this is how it works. So this is my my Facebook account, and I posted my public key here as between two logs. And you can actually like create encrypted posts here. It's so these are like the Chinese version, but we have like both English and the Chinese version at the same time. I'm just presenting that. I'm too lazy to create another one. So it's a like header. It should to like normal people, it's like some random bytes, like 300 characters. But with our extension, it'll like decrypt the real message here. It's morning cost cup. I made this for another like event. Sorry, I was too lazy. And this is how you do it. It's still like on the left. You see you have the create a post field, and you can like say whatever you want, the plain text here, and choose whoever you want to share with. For now, it's on default to sharing that with all of your Facebook friends, but you can choose specifically which or whom to share with. And you just click the create a post, and it'll automatically copy paste the ciphertext in the real one, the real text field. And then all you need to do is to post it on your Facebook. And yeah, this is how it works. I'm not sure I should explain a little bit to you guys, but it's on the plane. It's just so simple. The users was trying to create a post on Facebook, which is "Hello World," and it's encrypted by AES-256 or any other symmetric key. And this is the ciphertext. And here we will need to create a like ephemeral key pair to uh, to achieve like full secrecy, and it'll like post your combine the ephemeral public key in your like payload and post it on Facebook. And all you need to do is, so we're doing like encrypting the messages with an symmetric key. And we need to share this symmetric key with your friends. That's where we are using like asymmetric encryptions. And here we're using ECDH, which stands for elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman. It's I will not just describe it in detail, but all of those like shared encrypted key pairs or encrypted secrets are stored on a decentralized database, which is gone. The author is also here, Mark Nadal. We're probably using his fantastic tool to do this. So we don't have a server. We don't have anything. All we have is an extension, and everything is synchronized on that database. And the second one I'm presenting is called TensorCube. It's a mobile app. It's as simple as a keyboard input method. You can like encrypt your messages and decrypt them in wherever you want. It's just a keyboard. It's nothing. It's we believe it's a general access point to all the text fields. You can encrypt your messages everywhere, like this. So why TensorCube? Well, end-to-end encryptions are not everywhere. We have like end-to-end encryptions in WhatsApp and in Telegram's secret chat and in Signal, but not all of them. We want to achieve end-to-end encryptions in all of those like different instant messaging apps, especially like messengers, because like people are using Facebook messengers everywhere. Well, at least it's in the US. And people will not be willing to leave Messenger, because if I had like 1,000 friends and like 99% of them are still on Facebook, why would I ever need to like migrate to another app such as Signal, where I only have like 5 friends? You will still need to like stay in the same like instant messaging app, such as like Messenger or WeChat, right? We want to introduce end-to-end encryptions everywhere with our app. So it's this is another like show I'm presenting. So you still like the plain text here, and pull out the keyboard, and you choose whom to encrypt to, and click encrypt, and then it's encrypted right there. So you can also, by receiving some like ciphertext, you can also pull out the keyboard to decrypt it. And we are now still using, we're now still using the PGP, because it has been running for like over 20 years. It's quite popular in the world, but there are like so many issues with it, because it's not like not just about like safety. It's also about like the tedious payload there. So we don't want to do that anymore. We want to have like a more efficient one. So I will present it later. I will, okay. Time is now not that much time is left. So this is a comparison of like secure messaging apps. In case you guys are interested, it's in the www.securemessagingapps.com. So this is a really like good comparisons of like different messaging apps. You will see if it's end-to-end encrypted, or if they have like connections with the government. Okay, I will also open source this slide so you guys don't really have to. So yeah, we're still like using OpenPGP, But in our next version, we're forcing users to use like ECCs because it's more efficient and it achieves the same level of security. And here, we are adopting the decentralized identities because you can like use your own like Bitcoin, because our default one is step 256K1, which is Bitcoin curve. You can directly bring your Bitcoin private key here, but I don't recommend you to do that because it's too dangerous. If you have $1 million, you don't really want to use it to encrypt your like funky messages. But yeah. And one social account is apart from their keys. You can control them. You can control your personas. You don't have to manage your like the keys and your social accounts are not tied together. You can control them. You can control connections and everything. And also the data is encrypted. Since the data is encrypted, it's no longer on like plain text on the Facebook, on all the other platforms. In this way, we achieve a middle layer of data ownership. And why do we choose this path? It's, let me just do it quickly. Why do we choose this? Because people are not willing to leave, obviously. And we provide users an opt-out option to protect their privacies without forcing them to leave their comfort zone. And we provide users an easy access into crypto anarchy. They can, it's as it's as easy as if you are using like blockchains. And we converted existing internet giant companies or platforms into an infrastructure. That's our key point here. As we have done with like the HTTPS, SSL with those ISP companies. So they used to own our data because they can see everything going through their like bands. But with SSL, every packet is encrypted. They can no longer see them, and it becomes an infrastructure then. And we are doing the same thing right now. We're converting those like Facebook or Twitter as an infrastructure, as a CDN, as a data storage platform, and awesome UIs. We're just taking advantages of themselves. We don't have to break them. We don't have to like create a new platform. We're just piggybacking on their platforms. And this is how it looks like if you have like different, like millions of different personas yourself. You can do it. I believe everybody has their like different like appearances in the work, at home, and everywhere else. So you can actually be like that on the internet freely without any restrictions. And that's all my presentation today. And you guys can check out on these two. And yeah, thanks so much for listening. Yeah, thanks.
We have about 7 minutes for questions. Already one in the back.
Already.
I didn't get if Massbook work like PGP, where when the message is encrypted, you see just something that is not readable, sorry, or if it's something like random text that doesn't make sense, or maybe...
No, it's like PGP. It's
Okay.
still like encrypted, and you're gonna share.
Do you think it's possible, choosing one pattern and like I want to post everything as if I am I don't know, I have a flower shop. So
Right.
I think that the government thinks that I am selling flowers or something like that.
Right, right. Well, it's still possible, right? Because we believe that no one would ever want to encrypt their like all of their messages on the internet. And what they are really willing to do is to encrypt some like key things or sensitive information. And you can do like partial encryptions on that. Only like you can still like posting advertisements in your flower shop, but hiding the real address of that. And only encrypted that to some designated friends or designated customers. And yeah, we're just providing a tool to help you encrypt something on the internet. And it's up to you how to use it. Okay? Does it, okay, make sense?
Thank you for the talk. Just a
Thanks.
quick question. What's your business model?
Thanks. So I've been asking this question for long, and sorry, apparently we still don't really have a matured business model, or we don't even have a business model. But we're willing to, at least we're willing to like share this like tool to everybody, to all the users. For now, we are sorry, I didn't mention, but we are a VC-backed company, and we're now still using like VC's money. But we believe we can like achieve something really like influential and useful to all the users. So I didn't answer your question, but sorry, I don't know either.
Hey,
We don't make money so far.
so you mentioned that by encrypting user data, you would turn platforms like Facebook into infrastructure, and those platforms, many of them, their business plan is to basically take the data and do
Right,
something with it.
obviously, yes.
So they have the incentive to obviously to block all of this stuff. And imagine if we were making Facebook right now and users were to freely encrypt the data, what would be some business models for companies to, that want to make a Facebook, but they don't, they don't have access to the data, and what would they do?
Well, I will say that our tool cannot be blocked because it's an extension. And to block it, because like they're like just encrypted messages, encrypted content. If you really want to like block it, you'll have to block users. But why would Facebook, if Facebook is really starting to block users, it's gonna be disaster to them, I believe. And for companies, like in the future, I haven't thought about that yet thoroughly, that if a company cannot directly take users' data, what will their like business plan will be? Well, this question is really tough, and I believe that in the future, companies can still like query or request users' data, but they are gonna pay something because like these data are generated by ourselves, by us, right? And they're gonna pay us for something, and they need our permissions to do that. And we believe they're still like pretty much the same like business plan as before, but it's gonna be like tougher than before. And I'm sorry, but regarding the business plans and stuff, I don't really like know that much. Sorry. Okay. Do we have any?
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, we have 3 more questions.
Okay. I'll be really quick. Okay.
Thanks for your talk.
Thanks.
I just have a quick point. It seemed that reputation was missing a bit from being linked with identity. Say legitimate business interest, like maybe with DD. Someone is a very rude passenger. They slam my door and beat my car up and are rude to other guests. So perhaps they would like to charge a higher fee because they have a bad reputation.
Right.
Or some other case like that. And with encrypting messages in the way like privacy is a private or encryption is a private act, right?
Right.
If my friend has all these encrypted messages and some clear text messages on their Facebook, say, then I know that there is stuff that they don't want me to know because
Right.
I'm not in the group, right?
Right.
So these 2 things I just wanted to ask if these are things that you've considered either proxy data that looks normal as was asked earlier,
Well-
or reputation for services.
Well, I would choose the latter. The former, because we are now working on. Well, we already have this like thing, because like and then another step to convert the ciphertext to some like normal text or plain text. But this is not helping us advertise our product, because we're still like in the early stage to tell people hey, we're Massbook, and then come use it. But once we have like many users, adequate users, we'll convert it to the fully encrypted way. to pretend it to be a normal text, but it doesn't. It isn't. Yes.
So we have
So-
1 minute and 2 questions. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to you, but we'll try if we can go fast.
Sure.
Thanks, great talk.
Thanks.
Massbook decrypts the message and substitutes the HTML, correct?
Right.
Can't Facebook submit the decrypted message via JavaScript back to its server?
Oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but we are using Shadowroot. It's a part from the original like JS components. They can never seek our Shadowroot in the web page, so they can do nothing at all. And-
We'll try
yeah.
and get these last 2 questions.
Sure,
then
no
we'll be
problem.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very interesting talk. And I would like to quickly confirm, so you're a Chinese citizen and you're currently a resident of Shanghai.
Yes.
Is it? Did I understand you
Probably, yes.
correctly? Okay. So how do you find yourself positioned in that you're researching these privacy protecting technologies and services, but you are under a very oppressive government when it comes to user privacy, because the WeChat, we know all the messages are monitored and actually they're censored. And how do you see yourself positioned in that regard?
Well, someone needs to stand up. That's my answer. Well, I believe we're in a dangerous position, but we're here to help people. And we consider ourselves a global citizens, so yeah, just please go ahead.
Okay. Do you know that Facebook has React on your Massbook, and the messenger blocked any messages with maskbook.com in the messages?
Right. Okay. So a quick question. We have filed a like trademark, and it has been reputed by Facebook. But they will not gonna win this because like they don't really own the trademark of book, and we're Massbook. And they're due to their like anti-spam advertisement regulations, they have already banned our massbook.com and massbook.io. But I don't think that's their direct reaction to our product. It's just some like anti-spammy like mechanism there. But we are like migrating this to like the pure text Massbook, and it's working perfectly. And if they're really gonna ban a single word on Facebook, it's gonna be a disaster to them. We're gonna sue them and yeah, put it public. Right, we can always change the header. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, over time.